Oh my God, dude, I am so disgusted today. I'm just really distraught. And it's early. I haven't even it's almost 7. I'm gonna go babysit for the neighbor today for a while so she can go do her driving tests now that she's driving the bus. Man, I feel really bad for all the people who are still in this system, still trying to work jobs, still trying to make it. Like, it's gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. And you have to keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself to the brink. Like, there has to be a breaking point. And it's sad to watch how far people will push themselves, and then you start thinking, what is it all for? So you can get a new car, so you can have, a nice front door, so you can have, all of the stuff that we put value on, that we think we need. And, watching people to just, when you have the awareness of what's going on, and then you're watching people who don't, it's just like, oh my God, it's so horrible. So horrible. I just wish everybody would wake up. But everybody has their own thing that's going to wake them up. Everybody has their own situation that they're here to heal from, to learn from, to expand themselves. And, I knew that this was coming. I knew that there was going to be something big that was going to happen to wake everybody up. And I do feel like it's really close. Like, you can feel the energetic. It's like an energetic surge. It's like we are already in the wave going, and there's no stopping it. Just like when Trump says, you can't stop what's coming. It's already in motion. You can't stop water once it's moving. And I think water, air, all of that is representative of our energy of who and what we are. And you can't stop it. It's already in the process of going. It's already in the movement, going a certain direction. And it's going to be intense, man. There's so many people that are just so oblivious. So this story that has just got me freaking just beside myself, man. It is horrible too, because, we've seen enough movies and seen enough scenes that when somebody tells you something, that you already have it imagined. You can see it. You can see it just as if you were there. Well, I don't know. Maybe some people can't. Maybe some people really don't have abilities to visualize. I don't know. It trips me out when I hear about how different people are in the world, how they are functioning in the world. And I don't know, are they just not expanded to self yet? Have I expanded myself more? And, but I don't know. It trips me out to think of like how some people live. But when you do have the ability to visualize, it can be horrifying, because I can't get this out of my head. And so I had seen this girl yesterday on TikTok, and she lives outside of Seattle, which I know all through. Seattle is horrible when you go in, but there's still people living there. But everything is not there anymore. Like, when you used to go, it was just streets and streets, just shops and restaurants. And the last time I was there, everything was closed. There was nothing. It was all closed down. There weren't cars in the street. It was just a bunch of homeless people and drug addicts smoking drugs on the street, and tents everywhere. It was so different. So, but there's still some people who are staying, if it's for their job, if it's because they don't know where to go. I don't know. Some people are still paying these outrageous rents. And so around Seattle, all on the outskirts, you have super fancy, like Bellevue. Issaquah is the one I'm talking about. Issaquah is a place where there's tons of rich people. So when you have Washington State, you have all of us over here on the border. So you have Olympia, you have Tacoma, you have Seattle, Bellingham, Everett. Everything that is along the coastal border is very jam-packed. Most of the people that live in America live in this 100-mile coastal region. It was not by accident that they chose 100 miles. They went and looked, okay, how do we get most of the people? Yes. If they could have gone in 50 miles more and got a whole bunch more, but like I know here, which is probably the same in most states, you go out very far, you just get into the farmland where there's just a lot of open acreage where we all need to be headed. So this area is more affluent. In the east side of the state is more conservative than the west side. The west side is very progressive liberal. That's just, we could talk about that all day long, I swear to God, of how and why they do it. I don't know. It used to be important to me. I wanted to be around people who were liberal because I thought that they were less judgy and more focused on themselves and more open-minded, weren't trying to control other people. But then I see now that those are the people that they have got the most mind control over. And it's hard to break free because they use these trigger words. And so, and it's all implanted. And they do it in movies. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't believe the stuff I've seen through in movies now. It's just like, oh my God. I could watch movies all day long and break it down and show like all the programming. It's crazy. And when they're not programming, they are disclosing. Like the whole thing, it's madness, man. And then when you sit there and you watch these people, like, I don't know, since I went and made a movie, it kind of spoils it because that's all you can see is what's going on behind the scenes while you're watching it. So I already had that anyways. Like when they'll have these people like pretending that they're going through this, like, and you just know, okay, so what would someone going through this do? What would they think? How would they show their emotions? But them doing this is what sets the emotions for everybody else. It's ludicrous. So, anyways, so you have this side over here that's very progressive liberal. Then you have over on the East Coast side is Spokane. In between, there really isn't much. Some really small towns the whole way through Washington. And I've driven across it so many times. And it's all small towns. So over here in Spokane, it's a pretty big city. It's not anything like this conglomeration of Seattle, which will be the target here. If shit goes down in Spokane, it's going to be very minimal compared to what's going down over here on this side. And so, but the people over there are more conservative, and but there is a lot of liberals. And the liberals don't like the conservatives don't like the liberals. It's very divided over there. Then you go down towards Oregon, and you have the Tri-Cities, and then you have right above you have Yakima, and Yakima is very desert, and it is where all the migrants live, all the migrant workers, because there's all these farms. So all the migrants came and they developed a whole town in the desert. Keep trying to say, all we got to do is go fucking make a town. We don't need them to make them for us and them to put up their corporations and them to give us our jobs. No, we need to be the creators of this. We got to stop relying on these people. They are out to take from us, not make anything better for us. So down in Yakima, where it's really deserty and it's almost entirely Hispanic, the whole community. And my daughter just moved there, and she said, it's driving her crazy because it's just so deserty. Everything is just dark and dry, and there's no trees, and she just is. She's hating it, and it's very scary. She said there's so much crime. She said you would not believe how much crime right out, and they moved into some apartments right out in front of their door. Crime's going on. She said it's everywhere. And the other day, a little 4-year-old went missing. A little 4-year-old, of course, a darker skinned kid, because it's primarily Hispanic. And, everywhere you go, like, people speak Spanish. Like, it's very, very, it would be real easy to come across the border and disappear in a town like this if you're a cartel. Super easy. Because, for one thing, just like my daughter said, that there's not very many white people It's mostly Hispanic. So our government kind of just is like, doesn't care about it. They don't do things like my one daughter, when she went to Planned Parenthood there, she could not even believe it. She said it was, oh my gosh, it was just garbage. They treated her like shit. The place was just nothing compared to, you go to Spokane, to a suburban one. Oh, it's like the nicest place. Oh, welcome you in. Oh, we'll do whatever. It was very different because they don't care about anyone with darker skin. They just, I don't, it is the whitewashing of humanity as far as I'm concerned. So anyone who has darker skin is discarded by the system. And so they're the perfect target to steal their kids because these people are discarded and they don't care about these people's pain and suffering at all. And, you know, and in most of these places that is primarily dark, it ends up being a lot of crime because the system creates the crime. It creates the criminals. They don't put a lot of jobs. They don't put a lot of stuff. They make it where these people are just in this space of suffering. And you can feel it when you go around. You just feel it because every place has its own energy. So anyways, this little darker kid went missing. It was a 4-year-old boy. And so Yakima is like, when I just did that drive to go down to Southern California, I did the back way down to Yakima. So either way you would go, you would have to cross the pass. So you have to cross the mountains from Seattle to get to Yakima. Either route you take, the state highway or the interstate. They both have a pass you have to cross. So the person, the kid went missing. So then this other person I saw on TikTok who was just doing this video, she was just like, things are so weird. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is weird, right? Or something like that, right? That's kind of what she was saying. Like, she was confused by this. This would happen to me. I wouldn't have been confused not one goddamn bit. These people just going around confused by this shit. And so she went to like a 7-Eleven or something. And there was this little like 6-year-old dark girl. In Issaquah, it's primarily white. So you have Yakima that's primarily dark. And just kind of depressing and sad and poor. And then you have Issaquah that is rich, thriving, fancy stores, restaurants, like super fancy. You could drive through there, go through a parking lot, and it's going to be all like Mercedes, you know, the most fanciest, richest cars would be filling those parking lots. And so completely different worlds, just in the same state, just a matter of hours away, completely different worlds, completely different realities, completely different lives that these people are living, depending on where they live. And so she says that she saw this little girl who had no parents. She's out way late at night. I think she only even had one shoe on or something strange. And so the girl found it strange. And so she called the police and told the police to come get her. And I think there was some more to the story. I don't remember if there was some man hanging out or whatever it was. But so she called the cops and then she left. So then she goes home and her roommate hear all this screaming. So they go to the door and they open the door and they hear this screaming, "You're not my mom. You're not my dad. I want my mom. I want my dad." Keep saying it over and over and over, screaming it. They walk outside and they see a little dark-skinned boy, and he is about 4 years old, and he's got a tall, skinny man, which, you know, I'm fucking all stereotype on this shit. Drug addict. And a tall, skinny woman, fucking drug addict, both white, with a little dark boy who's screaming, "You're not my parents. You're not my mom. You're not my dad." He's screaming that at them. And just them being out late and just I just feel that the whole explanation of the aesthetic was that they were definitely addicts. You know, even if that is generalizing and stereotyping, shame on me, but that's what I think. And so the at the same time that this little 4-year-old boy goes missing in Yakima. And so the girl, she called the cops. And the cops came and said, okay, you guys just go back home. We got this. Well, I don't know what they got, but I know that in Yakima, that little boy is still missing. And I don't know if it's the same one. I can't get this picture out of my head. This boy out there screaming. And if you were to go to a place where people wanted little dark kids, you know exactly where to go because it'd be easy. They're everywhere. The whole community is dark. And then you go into grab whoever, just grab them off the street. I mean, they could grab them out of somebody's fucking house and the cops would just be like, well, you got your papers? It's some bullshit going on. And then to just cross over the mountain real quick and go to some really rich place where I imagine that there's a lot of shady shit. You have that much money, you're not just doing the up and up, are you? So you're probably involved with some shady characters and some shady shit. I mean, there's some people, of course, who live in those places. I mean, my stepsister lived over there. She didn't have a bunch of money, and a lot of people, they will try and fit in, and buy a fancier car and stuff. So not every single person is cut from the same cloth. But the people who are cut from this evil cloth, they are in that area. And they put in orders. And then, these drug addict, coyote, whatever the hell you want to call these people, the middleman who goes and rips them off the fucking, out of wherever, and then takes them, to sell real quick. And, oh, man. And I just know, that, so that cop, say he was a good cop, say he was a nice guy, say he knew about this, because for some ungodly reason, we're not getting Amber Alerts on anything. We went from getting nonstop Amber Alerts that, I swear to God, they signal us every time somebody was late for drop-off or pickup, It was like suddenly, we were being signaled a kidnapping, and every time it was like one of the parents. And it was like, what? It really got you thinking, like, most of these kidnappings are just divorce disputes. It has nothing to do with real kidnapping. And so, there's plenty of time I got Amber Alerts and just ignored them. I didn't go on and look because it was just this stupid shit of, a Honda driving, and this woman has got her kids and the husband's got custody and stuff like that. Well, there's more going on. Don't drag us into their shit. So, but now we have got kids going missing nonstop. Not a damn Amber Alert. I haven't got one. I didn't know anything about this kid in Yakima. Talking to my daughter, she told me, yeah, there's this little boy, 4 years old, because I messaged her. I said, whatever you do, keep Gracie in the house. Do not let her go anywhere without you. And, oh my gosh, she would be just taken so fast. The kid is like a spaghetti noodle. She is tall. She's like a total string bean, just skinny, tall. No, she is like what they would fucking put her to work in a hotel for until she ran out. And then, they would use her up as a breeder, and then they would just, give her as a ritual sacrifice. That's what they do. I've seen videos now of these people who survived the hunt. And when they put those movies out and then they try and pretend like, oh, this isn't real. Are you guys kidding? This isn't real. It's real. They really get kids. And then I guess they let them have shoes. They don't get clothes. They get shoes, because they're running through the forest. So, and maybe it is. They want shoes on them so they can't ground. Huh. I don't know. I don't know all of this stuff, so much of this stuff is new to me. This whole thing with grounding, and now them putting in these lines to disrupt that. I know that is a part of it, but I think it's worse than that. I think their plan is so dark of what they're planning to do with this frequency and the chemicals and all of it together. It's, they've just been testing. They've just been working it a little bit, getting people sicker and sicker, taking out the weak ones. But then once those ones are gone, they'll turn it up and they'll hit hard. And, this is the thing too. And I don't know if I had said this yesterday on here, but I was talking about it on TikTok. And if people could really understand that we're in a video game. Your higher self is put its avatar in the video game. The avatar is awake. The avatar is very highly sophisticated. So the avatar can go in and have feelings and experience the game. And then the connection gives the higher self the knowledge from the experience so that they can understand it. So you're in this video game and you have to go through these different levels. You have to constantly level up. And you do it every time you heal, you level up. You heal, you level up. And then once you level up, you get all new, what is that word? All new, man, that word is really, really stuck. But all new kind of situations, all new experiences. So all new challenges. So that, and that is why, you have to heal certain things to get to the next challenge. You can't skip over and be like, well, I'm not going to heal that. I'll just skip to the next one. And you can't do it. It's impossible. They build on each other. So you have to, just like in a video game, you have to do something before you can do the next thing. You can't just skip that and go to the next part. You have to go through each exercise, each obstacle, each ordeal to level up to get to the next part. And so all of these leveling up, for me, it started, like I said, back in 2009, which, is strange, is yesterday I saw this lady talking and she was saying something about, she was going through this whole thing about brain injuries, explaining like about depression, addiction, and all this stuff that injures these people's brains, and how these people were the first ones who woke up because of their brain getting injured and having to start healing. So your brain gets injured from the system, and then that's the awakening. And it's weird because she was saying all that, and I was like, well, that's what woke me up, was getting a brain injury. And so my awakening started after that, but it wasn't straight into the spiritual side. No, it's so multi-level, and each person has their own game plan. So even mine wouldn't match somebody else's because we all have different game plans and we're all here to learn different things. And so, mine, I've gone through before, from the time that I woke up, first I started healing, but that, right away, where I didn't have time and money and all of those things, those concepts, where I started questioning things. I mean, it was right away where I started talking about crimes against humanity and what was going on the planet. And, but people kept thinking I was crazy, but I really do think there is something to this, because I have seen so many addicts that are now in recovery talking about their journey in a very spiritual manner. So there is something to what she was saying, I would say. And I don't know it all, everything, we're just watching it play out. People who think they have got all the answers, that's ego. I mean, how could you possibly have all the answers? How could you know that you're right? The one guy who I said is about the 0110, I think his name is Jonah, something very biblical, what he goes by. But I see his live. I mean, this guy is live all the time. And he's always out walking in the streets. But what's weird is I keep seeing his videos with him out walking in the street. But he is just like walking, and he'll be like, this is a simulation. See this? He'll look at the people. He'll go, right, these people are all programmed. None of these people are really living. These people, and he's just walking around showing all this right in people's faces. It is the strangest thing. And then he will start talking about leaving the matrix, 0110110, whatever it is. So, I don't know. I say there's a lot of people are going to be, facing themselves. I've said this for a long time. So to me, some of the stuff, it just seems a little wackadoo. Like, I don't know. Yeah, the people are programmed. Yeah, they are just programmed. And at some point, they are just characters in your video game when they're just programmed. They're the side characters. But each person is here for the awakening. So there's no reason that anybody would be here unless it has to do with awakening. And some people are here to awaken others and help from the other side. So some people are going to cross. But it's still all about the awakening. This is something that has never happened. The changing of the ages and us participating. Every time it has been clear the slate. It's a reset. Get rid of all the people. We're starting over. And it's the changing of the ages. It's not just because we were, rotten. They have killed us plenty of times because they have been disappointed with their creation. So they have wiped out humanity several times. But these resets has to do with the changing of the ages. And this is the first time where humans have actually tried to participate, especially in this reset. Is we're elevating, we're going into a better kind of a higher vibration way of living. So you have to do the work. You have to heal yourself. There is no other way. And so this it is playing this game of life, and to continually the challenges that you face in your way to deal with them is to heal them, to notice what comes up. Don't hide from yourself. It is purging out the darkness that is inside of you so that you can get to a place of balance. Everything's out of balance. A lot of people have too much darkness because they're too attached to the system. So in this game of life, you have to keep continually leveling up by healing. Level up. So far, we have had, I think it supposedly started in 2012, the mass awakening. And that is, in 2012, I mean, it's all jacked up on time. But supposedly there was a certain time where everything started changing. Everything started being exposed to us. But when you go back even further, that was all a part of World War II, was to get us to think, like to get us to notice, like, man, that's some bullshit. Oh, I wouldn't do that, And then you get the challenge and you see so many people participate because they don't question things. So it's reliving that same thing for a lot of people, because it's the same thing in people. They just don't question. They do what they're told. So it's up to us to question things, because this is a different outcome. But a lot of people aren't, they're not there yet, but they're going to be faced with something big and dark. So anyways, the whole point is, so as people have been doing this leveling up and healing themselves, we're about to, which I think will be this week, so the politician, and now I'm seeing somebody say it's the 24th. I heard it was the 27th that this politician said that we will all know where we were this day. Now I'm hearing that it's the 24th. So it's somewhere in there, but it's the Chancellor of Germany, I guess, is the one who came out and said everybody will remember where they were on this date. And then now I'm seeing somebody say it's the 24th. Well, we already know the 20th, the 23rd, the 24th, the 27th, the 29th. All of these dates have some kind of impact that people are expecting. There's a lot that is going to happen this week, I believe. And I think a lot of people are going to transition. I think a lot of people who are down in the inner cities, because you can see they've already left their bodies. They're just all slumped over. They're all just like empty artifacts. They're all just avatars that are laying there with nobody powering them. So a lot of those people, I believe, are going to transition out. And it can seem super sad, but also, I mean, they've already been going through it, man. They deserve a break. They deserve to get the fuck out. They either they met their challenge, or they are going to go to the other side in their review and see what mistakes they made. And then they'll want to come back in and, fix them. That's how it works all the time, over and over and over and over. And these people who are like, I will never go and reincarnate again. This is my last one. I've had about 2 or 3, I'm pretty sure. And this is my last one. It's like, oh my God. You just don't even understand about life and souls. You're so stuck in this 3-dimensional world. You think this is real. This is not real. It's a real video game. That's it. So now we're to this point. If you haven't leveled up, if you have not raised your vibration to this level, there will be what is that word? A clearing. There will be a harvest. It will be where a lot of souls will go. They'll leave. They didn't raise their vibration to meet, because there's going to be a big jump, like the pole shift. It will be this big jump when this happens. When we go the other direction, it's going to be a giant jump in vibration. And so everyone who hasn't done the work is not going to be able to meet the vibration. And you don't have to worry and panic about this. I mean, it's just a video game. It's nothing to stress out about. But a lot of people, you can think like, well, I have to do this, I have to do that. I still get sad, so I probably haven't raised my vibration. I still get triggered. I probably haven't. No, that isn't what will make a difference. It is the people who just gave up, who aren't even trying. If you are aware and you are working on yourself and you want better for the world, then you're doing the right thing. You are on that path because you want something better. That is one of the things that I'm pretty sure it's in the book of 1 when it talks about the harvest. And it is, and I've heard this in other things, but it's just, it's like 51% of you has to want good in the world. You can still have some issues that you need to work on, because we're about to go into this big, huge time of healing where all of those issues are going to be coming to the surface. And so in order to level up after this one, it will be, that will be the huge leveling up, I believe. That's when people will actually leave the planet because they couldn't raise their vibration enough. And I think it is all about us. I've said this before. I think so. How it will go down. We're doing all this work. We're leveling up. Then everything's going to go the other direction. So a lot of people will be leave. They'll transition out. They didn't do the work. They weren't ready. They cannot keep their vibration to match the planet. You can't be low vibration. That's why, in this disclosure, why a lot of these people will be gone. A lot of them have already left the planet, but there will be tons and tons and tons that will go on trial and will be leaving because they can't match the planet, the vibration. People who are still out there working, committing crimes against humanity. It's like, you guys need to wake up and leave these jobs. And a lot of people who are in the medical, they're going to become scapegoats. But administrators are going to try and scapegoat people and draw them in and make them culpable, or whatever the word is, for their crimes. So, you're just making your life more complicated. But everybody's got to make a choice because, it's complicated also to not have a bunch of food and to not know where you're going to sleep. And especially with all this stuff going on, like I definitely would prefer to go sleep in a tent on a beach and just live my life, or in a jungle or something. Okay, just a minute, please. Oh, she's so bossy to me sometimes. So anyways, right now the culling, that's what the word keeps coming in my mind, but it will be the separation of people who can't hold vibration. They will just transition out, and then the people who can will continue in the game. They'll continue to the next level, but each level will be a leveling up to heal yourself, to match the planet's vibration. And if you just surrender and don't want to work on yourself, you don't want to, take care of your avatar and, try and work on your mind and mastering your emotions and, healing your pain and releasing suffering. If you're not ready for that, then you'll just transition out of the game. That's all it is, and people get so scared because they've told you, oh, you're going to die, you're going to die. No, you just transition out of the game. You just leave the game. But the people who are here to continue in the game, who are driven because you cannot get away from it, and you have to keep healing and healing and healing and healing because your guides tell you. And then you keep working your way up to when we get to the actual age of Aquarius, when we're actually in it. And we'll know we're in it is because everybody will be healed. Everybody will be feeling good. We will be creating a new way of living. It will be a completely different way of living than it has been. That's when you'll know we're in the age of Aquarius, when we're actually in the age, when we're actually doing it. Until then, we're just in this transition period of giving people the opportunity to do the work to get there. Once we get there, when you see how much healing and how much you've expanded. I saw a guy doing a video yesterday who was levitating. He said he had been working on it for 20 years and he does a whole video explaining it. I guess he's on YouTube too, to teach people how to levitate and how to master your energy. But see, we have so much to learn, so much about our abilities to communicate without language, without words. We have so much about our inner knowing, our connection, our psychic, all of this stuff is all the expansion of our consciousness, of ourself. And so all of these things happening is these challenges so you can keep continuing to expand self. And then once we get to this part, it will be like a celebration, and it will be like the gods have come to the planet, because there's so much work and so much expansion of self. By the time you get there, you will be, physically as what you perceive a god to be. It will be like the gods are reigning the earth with, because we have got so many abilities that they've all been hidden. And, and then they want you to not realize you're a god. They want you to think that there's a god over you. So they push the agenda nonstop. And how many people don't believe in themselves? They would rather believe that there's some almighty that is more stronger and has more abilities than you. But you have all of these abilities of what you consider a god to be. You have life after life after life. You have lives on other planets. You have any consciousness that is incarnating is an advanced being. It's a consciousness that has awareness of who and what it is. It's asking the question, who and what am I? This earth school is where you come to learn about who and what you are. It's a huge expansion. Even if you've gone and you've lived multiple lives all over the place, you come to earth, it's still a challenge. You don't get to know who you are. You don't get to be privy to all of the information. You have to find your path to self. You have to go internal. You have to start listening to your internal guidance. And when that external is so much louder, then it's very distracting, especially when they're manipulating you with their words and trying to make you small. And because they want you to be dependent on them. So they need you to be small. And the awakening is all about people realizing that they're not small. That they are, there is like so much of this grandiose, like, I'm psychic. Everybody is like, because we all are. It isn't something special. It's something hidden. And as soon as you realize that you have the gift inside of you and you start practicing and working on it, just like you have to go to a gym to build muscles, it's the same thing. Everything that we're doing is a muscle inside of ourselves that we have to work out. You want to learn how to levitate, then you got to spend time trying to do it. You want to learn how to understand and translate the consciousness, the universal consciousness that is speaking to you. You got to take time. You got to think like this is real, and you've got to listen, and you've got to expand that side of you. You want to understand your own psychic abilities and challenge yourself, test yourself, work on it. You want to work on your communication, your ESP, find somebody to work on it with. Start challenging yourself. These are the things we're working into. It's not going to be about jobs and shit, what they want you to be fighting over. And this economy crisis that they want you to focus on. All of their shit is going away. They took it too far, but it's the end of their time. It's over. And we have to heal because we allowed it to go too far. So we have a lot of stuff to heal so that we can get to a place in our heart and in our mind to create a better world. So anyways, everybody has so much abilities, and it's just hidden from you. And when you start going inside and really trying to find yourself, then it is like a relationship to self. It's like dating yourself. I noticed this one day. I was making this dinner because when I like cooking and stuff, and I'm always cooking and making stuff and creating. And when I've done this several times, but I had just done this recently, like you're setting it all up and you're fixing your plate and stuff. And it was like, it really is like dating yourself. You don't just skip it because you don't matter. No, set it up. Fucking clear the table. Light some candles. Get, well, I drink kombucha, but, if you drink wine or whatever, get yourself a glass of wine and sit down and, treat yourself like you are important, like you're special, like you wish somebody would treat you this way. Treat yourself that way. Don't wait for somebody else to come in and make you feel good. Figure out how to make you feel good, and that is part of this whole thing, is this becoming so independent in yourself, in your spirit, that it doesn't matter what other people think of you because you love you so much. They're just missing out. So anyways, this is all part of this thing that we're going through, this awakening. These are, the awakening is happening for you. It's not happening, so many people just think, oh, I see it, I hear it, we're being punished. We're being punished by God. He's killing us all and stuff like that. Well, God wouldn't kill its own creation, and we are God. We are the fractals of God, so we would all have to come together and say, hey, mass suicide, let's all kill ourselves to prove that God would not put up with this. And it's like, no, we are the creation of God. God has created us so it can experience life. So it fractals out into all of these states, all this energy. And as the energy becomes more clear of itself and begins to question, what am I doing here? How have I separated from myself? What am I supposed to do? And start asking the questions, who and what am I? And then you go into life after life after life so that you can see who you are. So you don't have to question it. You know exactly. And that's what you're here learning about. And that's why it's vital for you to make the right choices. And remember, there is no good and bad. It is just light and dark, which has to be in balance. And it's out of balance. And so you need to find that balance in yourself. But don't shame yourself because you have dark inside of you. We all have dark inside of us. We wouldn't be able to survive some of these different lives if we didn't. You have to rely on the dark at times to survive. So don't shame yourself. Just come into a place of wholeness, of completeness, of balance, of love of self. Once you get to the point that you love yourself and other people can't put you off from how much you love yourself, you'll know you're on the right road. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to go babysit today. It's Monday. So I don't know. I think things are about to be getting really hot around here. And weirdly enough, that if it is the 24th, it will be during the week. If it's the 27th, it would be on the weekend. I'm pretty sure. So, I don't know. I think this week is going to have a lot of stuff that is going to be like, what? oh my God, a lot of stuff that's going to frustrate us, anger us. There's going to be, oh my gosh, the amount of disasters. Taiwan is being hit with one earthquake after another. The Pakistan is underwater. All of these different places are. There is so much going on that is so traumatic and so tragic. And, I knew some places were going to get hit much harder, and it's going to continue this week. But we are headed definitely to this big thing that's going to happen. It's going to turn us the other direction, and it's going to be traumatic. But just remember, it's absolutely necessary. We need it to go the other direction. And really keep in mind that the people who are transitioning, it is people who were done with the game. They were done. They did the part that they wanted to do, and they're leaving. And if it's somebody that you really care about and you think, well, they're a good person, why would they go? Just keep talking to them, because they're right there with you. There's a lot of people who leave the game to stay right with you to help you through the game. So don't get caught up in loss. Keep talking to the people, because they're not really gone. And stay strong and stay resilient, because you will get through this. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.